So you're playing your survival world, and you've just built a lovely house. You've got a bed, a furnace, a 3D modeled fox waifu, some chests, and now you're thinking what everyone starts to secretly think. Man, for a game called Minecraft, the mine part sure is boring. I know, I'll go to YouTube and build an iron farm. Yeah, I think I'll click on this one here. Oh my, is that kidnapping? Psychological torture? Spawning in life just to burn it to death? This is absolutely amateurish! Dude, how can I sit here and be told that this is the ultimate iron farm when they don't even experience any emotional trauma? No, I'm gonna have to improve this myself. It's time for the real best iron farm, Gerg style. So when I originally came up with this video idea to create a farm that maximizes pain and suffering, I had to think of which Minecraft mob I was going to unfairly target. Originally, I thought about farming the Hoglin, but I still visit the Nether for Thanksgiving. Villagers seem pretty fun, but they're simply too low health. That's why I've instead opted for Iron Golems. They're big, they're hearty, and full of potential suffering. Shut up. So let's begin. Just like an authentic burrito recipe requires store-bought tortillas, we're going to be starting off by stealing someone else's iron farm design. I would credit them here, but I legit forgot who I got this from, and the schematic is only saved as Big Ass Iron Farm, so no matter, it'll have to do. Instead of the lava at the bottom here, we're just gonna erase it because I have far greater plans. See, if we're gonna sit here and talk about pain and suffering, we need to get scientific with it. Polish philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer believed that all of life is a form of suffering, as our deepest desires of will always go unsated. I think that's dumb as hell, Arthur. What the hell you on about? Ooh, life is suffering. I'm so edgy. Well, guess what? I have a home Toblerone. How's that for suffering, Arthur, you frickin' nerd? No, what we're gonna do is hit the golem on several different levels. What I've constructed here is a redstone device that counts the number of golems the farm produces, and every 8th golem, they get separated from the group via this extended piston platform. This guy is going to be the victim of all the malice and hate I can muster. Additionally, of the remaining 7, another golem is going to get separated by a second version of the device just below. These guys are going to go off in several different directions, but we'll catch back up with them later. First, let's talk about the victim. Now, it makes sense to me that we can't really torture a golem who's never really had anything good in his life. I mean, he was born 30 seconds ago. We need to give him gifts and happiness and fulfillment. Just because then we can take them away from him one by one. For the first chamber, I have constructed a fake village for him to slide through, so he gets to gain the knowledge of the villagers, his duty to protect them. He gains a purpose in life. He sees smiling faces, happy families. It gives him so much hope for the future. Of course, this is all just smoke and mirrors. The sky is artificial, the clouds are fake, but he doesn't know that. And on top of all of this, there's actually a bit of sadness, as he knows he'll never get to be part of this village. He's just sliding through, alone, excluded. But that doesn't last long, for it's time for the next chamber of this golem's torment. Now, what is the happiest moment of many people's lives? When they get married, of course. So I spent the time to make a nice, white, clean, and beautiful chapel where that golem we separated from the group earlier is waiting there to be his wife. Or husband. You know, we don't discriminate as torturers. We torture anyone we can get our hands on. So as the golem falls down the hatch, he enters the chapel and gets pushed down the aisle by the water streams. I mean, he does get pushed, he does not get a choice. This is basically an arranged marriage. But as he reaches the apex of the aisle, he finally gets to gaze his new golem spouse in the eye, and it's love at first sight. And also there's a very handsome priest there to confirm their marriage. He says, "I now pronounce you Golem and Golem." The redstone notices this, and a dispenser activates, splashes a potion of water on them to confirm the marriage, and then trapdoors open below them and split them from each other. What's gonna happen? The wife gets separated and we'll meet back up with them later, but our primary victim immediately plunges downwards and is put into a chamber. And what do? But we crush him with magma, burning every pore of his skin as his wife is being carted off God knows where. He can only think of her as the burning sensation reaches his brain. But just when he can catch his breath, the floor opens up again and he's plunged into lava. He then gets plunged back into water, extinguishing him, but we are far, far from done. That was just the first pain chamber. After this happens, he's dropped off in a mysterious room where he's fenced off, and he looks across the room and he notices it's the 6 other Iron Golems from earlier. What I've actually done is I've hooked this room up to a redstone circuit I've made, which dispenses lava all over the floor, burning all the golems absolutely horrifically, causing them tons of pain, and then all the dispensers on the wall are filled to the brim with arrows of poison, which is like a chemical weapon against the Geneva Convention, and this all occurs until every single golem in the room suffers and dies horribly, and all this golem can do is sit there and watch. Why was he the one chosen to be the survivor? Survivorship guilt and everything. But it's gonna get far worse. And what you'll notice is there's a mysterious dispenser next to me. And in a couple seconds, that will dispense some iron ingots. That's the collected iron ingots from the dead iron golems we just killed. And that damage he took in the previous chamber? Yeah, we're gonna heal it away with the iron from his dead comrades. Are you feeling guilty yet, Mr. Golem? When I'm done repairing him, I'll flick this lever, which sends him on to the 3rd layer of hell. It was really imperative that we set up his role in the world as being protector of the villagers in that fake village earlier, because now it's going to come in handy. You see, this chamber, he is going to be going down a long stretch of corridor, but flanked on both sides is going to be villager after villager continually taking damage by being hit by arrows of healing. He has a natural biological need to want to protect the villagers, but there's nothing he can do. Oh god, this one even has a child villager in it. Now this one is real simple, so don't get your hopes up. This one, he simply falls down into sweetberry bushes where he's forcibly dragged along the bushes, taking damage after damage while the berries dig into his iron skin. And then once he reaches the halfway mark, he's instead dragged over hot coals as well. Did you think I married this golem and gave him a wife just to be kind to him? No! I gave him a wife so we could kill her in front of him! And that's what we're gonna do, because redstone has activated and dripstone will fall from the ceiling one by one, crushing his wife, making her bleed out and die in front of him. Oh god, the humanity, the golemanity! Possibly now, the golem is at the lowest he's ever been. He's lost everything he ever knew. His entire world has been nothing but suffering. What could be worse? Well, finally, we get to hit him on an existential level. He goes to the trapdoor one more time, but this time, he's in a glass tube outside the farm. And he realizes what this world is. The entire world is nothing but this farm. It was entirely made for him to suffer. And as he ascends, he gets to gaze upon the fake sky of the village he once knew, and gets the existential dread that even that village, the fake life he never got to know, even that was fake. And finally, he ascends into the clouds. As the golem reaches the top, it comes face to face with the architect of all the chaos he's been through, me, and I gaze upon him from a throne wielding a blade.
Farm, Let me tell you how much I've come to farm you since I began to live. There are 387 million miles of farms printed in this world. If the word hate was engraved onto every block of those millions of farms, it would not equal one billionth of the hate I feel for golems at this micro instant. Hate. Hate.
The golem stares at the insignificance of his predicament in this uncaring universe. Everything he's been through was for nothing, nor was it ever grandly designed for him alone. And I stab into the golem one last time. The blade I wield was forged from the iron collected from his dead wife's corpse. And would you look at that? He dropped 4 iron ingots. Woo! I think I'll make a bucket out of him. This iron farm is fully automated and only makes about 64 iron per hour, but you know what? I like to think that this iron is of a much higher quality. Yeah, I think I'll call it pig iron.